Just wait and see if anybody joins us. This was kind of a short notice live. I didn't post about it early enough. I think I just made the post later this afternoon. So we'll see who hops on. When you hop on, say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. And tonight we're going to talk about wellness remedies. And one in particular that I'm going to start using weekly or a few times a week. Hello from Kuwait. Hello. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Hi, Patricia and Allie. Hi, Allie from California. Hi, Sharon, Australia. Good to have you here. Hi, Catherine. My name's Catherine, too. I just go by Katie. Do you go by Catherine all the time? And Patricia's watching from Utah. Hi, Debbie from Eastern Washington. How are you doing? How's the weather up there? Hi, Casey. What's up? Or hi, Kathy. Kathy's watching from South Carolina. Excuse me, you guys. I have a frog in my throat. What are you all drinking on tonight? I've got a, if you watched my last Azure Standard haul, I got some rose hips, which are so delicious, in tea, and then skull cap. So I have a rose hips and skull cap tea going right here. It's so good with a little bit of honey to sweeten it. And somebody was asking because in that video I shared, I have fabric tea bags, I have these metal things. I have various metal ones, but they were asking why was I using cotton instead of metal. And well, I was gifted cotton tea bags, so I have them, and I happened to, it was like the first thing I saw. So it's just by sheer luck that I grabbed the fabric tea bag that night instead of one of my metal tea balls. Sharon, you're still resting from your shoulder surgery. That's a tongue twister, Sharon's shoulder surgery. Hello from Tucson, Nunez. It's very rainy up there in Washington. You know, it's been really rainy here as well. Down here in Southern Oregon, we had rain all day today, yesterday. If you guys see, I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading your comments. Oh, goodness. I hope you get more sleep, too. Definitely need to get as much sleep as you can. We all need our beauty rest. You're having water. You had gallbladder surgery. How are you feeling now? How are you feeling now, Kathy? You doing all right? You hanging in there? That sounds awful. I would not like to have gallbladder surgery. Hi, Christine. We were chatting earlier, weren't we? I try to do Monday night lives regularly, but over the summer, it's so crazy busy that it's tough to get on lives when there's daylight outside. And now it's pitch dark, 6 p.m. in the evening. My family settled down, and it's so much easier to do lives in the cooler months when it's darker. Christine from Mrs. Gilliam Farms. We are doing a game meat November recipe collaboration. So if you guys go to my posts in my community, you will see that I have shared all of the channels and the dates that they are posting their videos for the game meat recipes for November. Gosh, I'm having a brain blank on exactly what it's called, but go check out that post on my community page and you guys can find all the details there and join in, because not only are they game meat recipes, but you can substitute and use beef or chicken or turkey or whatever it is that you have on hand in those recipes if you don't happen to use game meats, or if you don't have access to game meat like deer, elk, wild boar. I'm not sure what else everybody's going to have in this collaboration, but check it out. all you have to do is click on the channels and go to the uploads for the collaboration. I'm so glad too. I'm so glad that we found each other. And we wouldn't have found each other if it wasn't for Casey from Boots and Bounty Homestead. So that's another great channel for you guys to follow if you don't already. Wild Game November, that's what it is. The hashtag Wild Game November. Can I please make more gluten-free recipes for the holidays? Yes, I will. I plan to. I hope to. Definitely going to make some more gluten-free recipes. I have a persimmon, I think it's persimmon and cranberry galette recipe that I made last year, and I want to make that gluten-free this year because it is the best. It is so good. It's so good. It's my favorite thing to make, but I wasn't gluten-free even though I was supposed to be last November. So this year, yes, most of my holiday recipes that I'm going to be sharing are going to be gluten-free because I definitely want to eat some treats this season. So we will definitely do that. Yes, Casey is awesome. She is so sweet. Hi from Minnesota, Angie. How are you doing tonight? If you have a beverage, what are you drinking on? There's no shame. Anything's game. I'm drinking an herbal tea with rose hips and skullcap. And if you guys saw my last grocery haul, skullcap is a herb that's good for your head, for your mental space. It's good if you're battling anxiety, depression, if you're having trouble sleeping, neurological issues, all sorts of things. It's really good for that. So I alternate. I drink a bunch of different herbal teas. Oh yeah, it also has some red raspberry leaf in there as well. And that's really great for women's health, women's reproductive health. It strengthens and tones your uterus. So that's a really good herb for women of all ages. All women can benefit from that herb. Oat flour, Sharon. If you buy gluten-free oats, because sometimes they will process oats in a facility that also processes gluten products. So, but a lot of people who have gluten issues have issues with oats as well. I personally, I had a histamine test done with foods, and I have a really high histamine response to oats. So a year ago, my histamines were like 1200, and I was eating oats and all, gluten and dairy and all these things. I've brought my histamines down to 800 last time I checked by omitting oats, dairy, and gluten. But that was like at the beginning of my elimination diet. And then now I'm like many more months into it. I have slipped up and I did eat pie for my daughter's birthday, and my hands are shredded now. All the skin is peeling off my hands. So I've been kind of battling that and learning my lesson. I'm still kind of a rebel when it comes to food. I still am like, well, I'm just going to eat that pie crust. And I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't. And I do that occasionally just to test the waters. And when I do that, like I said, I learned my lesson. I think anybody who's going through eliminating certain foods from their diets, we all kind of occasionally might dip our toes back into the waters in the beginning. The first 6 months, the first couple months or whatever, the first year, just to be like, is it still affecting me? And then you find out, yes, it is. I'm not miraculously healed from a gluten intolerance. So my nurse practitioner, women's health nurse practitioner, she's a functional medicine specialist. She said, I'll probably never be able to tolerate gluten again, ever. And that's really sad. I keep trying every so many months. And like I said, I tried on my daughter's birthday, and I've had a couple nibbles of a few things here and there. And my fingers, you can see like the redness on my fingers. My skin peels down to raw skin. It bubbles. It's weird. It bubbles. It doesn't blister, but it's like the skin just lifts up. And you see this white bubble, but then the skin rips off and peels, and then it continues to peel and continues to peel. And I haven't found the remedy for that yet. But I do want to say, my wrist, I woke up one morning last week and my wrist was giving me tons of trouble. to a point where I couldn't put any weight or pressure on it. I couldn't open up jars. I was having lots of trouble. And I would cry out in pain because the pain was so severe. Someone said, "Hey, Katie, why don't you try Comfrey?" And if you're on here, thank you so much for recommending that, because I have this big old honkin', well, it was full. I have a big jar of Comfrey and I send it to friends, family as they need it, but I don't ever think of giving it to myself or using it on myself when I'm in despair or when I'm hurting or when I have a joint that's hurting or something in my body that's hurting. Comfrey is amazing. So if you all can look up the benefits of Comfrey, here's what I did. Let me tell you what I did to make the pain in my wrist go away. So if you suffer with joint pain anywhere in your body, what you do is you take some Comfrey and a couple spoonfuls and you put it into a teacup or whatever, add a little bit of water, wet the Comfrey, a little bit extra to make a tea, a little bit of tea in there, because what I did was, and you're gonna think, you might think this is gross, it's not. This is just the poultice that I used and I wanted to show you all. I am using like a surgical bandage and I soaked it in the Comfrey tea, completely soaked it. I've got the wet Comfrey leaf on there. And then what I did was I wrapped this around my wrist and then I wrapped it with an ace bandage. And I wore it like that for about 6 hours or so. I woke up this morning and I didn't have any pain in my wrist. I am not kidding. 0 pain in my wrist. I can open jars. I can bear weight on it. Miraculous healing from nature, from an herb. So I'm a believer. And I bought this because it's called the bone knitter. It's Comfrey leaf. It's called bone knitter. If you break a bone, this is what they used to use to help your body pull nutrients to that specific area. So when you put this on and you wear it as a poultice, it does so many things. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's going to help pull nutrients to that bone and heal the bone if you have a break. If you have arthritis or any kind of tendonitis or anything like that, it just really, really helps. And I mean, I've used it before, but this specific instance and just being reminded by a friend, by one of you, to use the Comfrey on my wrist and to wake up with no pain when I was in so much pain yesterday and all week long, or for the last like 5 or 6 days, awful pain, and it's gone. You can use Comfrey and infuse it with your shea butter, your vitamin E oil, olive oil, coconut oil, all those things mixed together. If you want to use some beeswax, and make yourself a salve, and then you can rub that on your joints. You can rub that on your arthritis, your broken bones, your areas like that. So my nephew that you all know about, who broke his back and had spine surgery, his mother, I sent her some of the Comfrey and she made a salve for him to apply to his back with both CBD and Comfrey in it for him, for his healing. And she says it's really, really helped him. So huge believer in that. I don't think if I would have gone to the doctor and said, "Hey, my wrist hurts," they probably would have sent me for an x-ray. It's obviously not broken. There was no trauma to it. Just I woke up one morning and it was in terrible pain. And they would have sent me, had an x-ray, done all these things, maybe put me in physical therapy, whatever, but not offered me something to take ibuprofen, take Tylenol, take whatever anti-inflammatory or steroids. But they're not going to offer me something that's going to provide me with a healing like this Comfrey did overnight. I'm just amazed. Let me read through some of these. Hey, Casey. Oh, she joined us. We were just talking about you. Could I make a gluten-free cookie book? Well, excuse me. I'm not that great of a gluten-free baker yet. I just got my, is it called psyllium husk or psyllium husk? So that I can make artesian gluten-free bread. But I haven't really dove into everything. We've just been hectic, busy, crazy in our personal life. So just trying to feed my family and stay on top of all the household tasks and everything. I haven't dove into very much gluten-free baking. I'm supposed to not eat a lot of sugar and not supposed to eat a lot of things like that anyways, If I were to start baking a lot of gluten-free products, I would be eating a lot of it. And because I have no self-control, I admit it, I lack self-control in some areas of my life. And so if I had lots of sweets, like just before this live, I was sitting there holding a bag of gluten-free brownies that I could bake up. This was about an hour ago, and I was just sitting there. I was like, what happened to me last time I ate these brownies? I was in terrible pain and I had bowel issues and pain in my joints for days after, but they were really, really good. Was it worth it? No, probably not. So I have to kind of put myself in check when it comes to that. I will make some gluten-free things occasionally, but I'm not going to go all out and make a whole lot of stuff or write a cookbook or anything like that, because I think there's a lot of really wonderful vloggers and bloggers that have great gluten-free recipes and pages and things already. So I'll start sharing those in my videos descriptions when I use their recipes so that you all can easily find their recipes as well. It's my hope one day to get back to my blog. I was kind of on a roll a year or so ago, probably 2 years ago. I was on a roll with my blog, writing my recipes and things like that. And I kind of got out of that, but I need to get back to it. I need to get back to putting all my recipes in written form somewhere on my blog. That would be really good to have that all in one place. So red wine, Angie Hoffman. Ooh, you're drinking red wine. I used to love to drink red wine. That was my go-to. We used to drink Merlots. Green tea with dried lemon slice tonight. Zoe, is it Zoe? Zoe Angel. That reminds me that that's a really good idea, and I definitely need to do that with some lemon slices. I just freeze-dried turmeric and ginger, and I've been adding those to some of my teas when I'm not feeling too hot or when I have pain or gut problems. I throw a couple slices of ginger in there, but I need to do it with lemons. I need to do it with limes, especially for Aaron, my husband. He loves limes. He's still making all of his own bubbly water with the machine, you know. He makes his own bubbly water, and then he adds pineapple juice and lime juice. So it would be good to have a whole bunch of lime slices dried to add to teas or to add to his beverages. That's a good idea. Thanks for that. Casey says, hey, she makes comfrey salve and was going to tell me. Yeah, you didn't. No, I'm just kidding. You didn't, Casey. I can't remember who told me. But yes, I might have to buy some comfrey salve from you just because I think I would trust your method, your salve, more than taking the time to make my own, but I need to make my own. Hi, Carol. I'm so glad that you made it here this evening. I'm so happy to see you on here on this live. You have psoriatic arthritis. Some days inflammation is severe. This is Christine. She needs to research comfrey. Definitely. It's good. I'm going to have to get some more, especially now that I know. And Carol, have you used your comfrey yet? And did you hear me tell my comfrey story with my wrist pain? And I wore comfrey for 6 hours yesterday, and I woke up today and I have no pain. And what I did was I put it on a surgical pad. I just made like a tea and left the leaf in it, put it on the surgical pad, and wrapped my wrist and healed. No pain today. No, I don't follow Barbara O'Neill. Ooh, using it on her chapped lips. That sounds nice. Blackcurrant oil, internal and external, might be worth the research. I will. I need to get my list. I guess I can always come back to this and see all the comments because I've started leaving my lives. There's a replay, so if you miss my lives, you can always re-watch them. Kathy, I'm sorry to hear that your granddaughter is having, or your grandbaby is having issues. Yeah, I would definitely listen to the doctor. And gluten-free diet is pretty easy. You just basically eat whole foods, fruits, vegetables, rice, proteins. It's simple. And it's even easier if you don't buy the things that you can't have. If whoever is in the home that manages the food, if they don't buy gluten products, it makes it easier for the person who has to be gluten-free to be gluten-free, because then there's no temptation. You just remove all the temptation. They don't feel like they're missing out. That's kind of, I haven't done that yet here in my house, so I should really take my own advice. But for little toddlers and stuff, especially toddlers, if it's not in the house and the toddler doesn't know about it, then they won't throw big fits and, demand these foods if these foods aren't available in the house. Because trying to transition, especially young children, off of things, if they've had like a diet rich in all the foods that are recommended to toddlers, it's hard to kind of break from that. But rice is really good substitute. When I went gluten-free, I was eating rice 3 times a day. I was eating a lot of rice. And then I was still having lots of inflammation, and my provider said, "Have you tried laying off the rice?" And I said, "Don't make me quit rice. I'm already so sad when it comes to food as it is, because I can't eat all the things that I love. But that's okay. I can love these other things." Which I love food. We had taco salad last night. We made a really big taco salad. It was awesome. And I can have corn tortilla chips. So, there's things I can have and there's things I can't have. I can have corn tortilla chips in moderation. If I eat them every single day, I'm going to end up inflamed, but in moderation. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, it's weird. I wake up some days, and today I woke up and I felt great. And then some days I'll wake up and I can't explain why I have a swollen ankle and it's painful, or my wrist is painful. It's just bizarre. Yes, Carol, try it. I am amazed. Oh, and then another thing I'm going to start doing, and I wanted to show you guys this too, because this is really cool. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of castor oil packs. So this is castor oil, and you can use it on your skin and your body can absorb it. And apparently, I don't have experience with this. I'm just telling you what I've heard from other herbalists and other people who know more about natural remedies than myself. That castor oil can dissolve bone spurs. That castor oil can dissolve lumps and bumps in your breasts and in different areas of your body. It can break up congestion. It can heal your bowels. So I'm having tons of bowel troubles. So I've got this castor oil. This is a really thick, slow absorbing oil. So when you have your castor oil, you want to put it on a flannel cloth, or this is a wool flannel cloth, and I haven't done this yet before. So this is going to be the first time that I am doing it. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your castor oil on here. I don't know if I should do this now with all of you all and then sleep with it tonight. But you would pour your castor oil on here, and it takes a long time for it to soak in. So you're just going to lay it flat for about a half hour or so. Lay it flat, let it soak into your fabric. Then what you're going to do is, I went to Joann's fabric store, craft store, and I was looking for this PUL diaper. So if you are into cloth diapering, I used to cloth diaper my babies. You can get this PUL fabric. It's fabric on one side, synthetic, but polyurethane, or PUL, something. Anyways, it's called PUL. They don't sell this at Joann's at my store that I was at anymore, but I found this when I came home today in all my sewing craft supplies. I've used this stuff to make reusable trash can liners for our bathrooms, diapers, different various things over the years. And so I had this scrap piece. I took this scrap piece and just real quickly put these little snappy doos on it, just folded it over. I can do a way better job in the future. I can reinforce it, take off these snappies, reinforce it with fabric and all of that. But tonight I just wanted to do something quick because I want to get these castor oil packs on tonight. And if I'm going to sleep in them, I need to protect my bed and everything else from the thick, goopy oil. So since they don't have this PUL at the store anymore, they had this, which is a flannel, a cotton flannel, 2 pieces of cotton flannel, and then in the inside, it's just fused to like poly plastic. So this is waterproof, but it's soft on both sides. So you could use something like this. And I just got a quarter of a yard cut strip. And if I need to, I can put on my castor oil pack on my bare skin, and then I can wrap this around it. And then I have a belly band that's elastic. I can wear that over to keep it in place, or that was like one option. Or I made this thing and I would put my castor oil pack on, and then what I think I'm going to do is probably wrap like an ace bandage around it to hold it in place. Or I can double up here with these 2 plastic pieces just to give more extra padding, and then that's going to wrap around, and these bad boys are going to snap, and then that is going to hold my castor oil pack across my belly, and it's going to protect my clothing, my bedding. It's going to protect everything because I've got this waterproof barrier, and apparently it can help heal your intestines. It can help with so many issues. It can help with IBS. It can help with constipation, IBS, all sorts of chronic bowel inflammation and bowel issues. So I'm going to be the guinea pig. I'm going to do it. Many of you know that last year, my husband had a bowel obstruction. He had a scar tissue bowel obstruction, and he was admitted into the hospital for 3 days with a NG tube to relieve pressure and to get that obstruction to move through. It was horrible. But he can definitely benefit from a castor oil pack as well, especially like with his military history and career, and like parasites over in Jordan, or when he was over in the Middle East, he had parasites and all kinds of nasty stuff. So I'm going to be the guinea pig. I'm going to do it. You can use the castor oil. So these are nursing pads that I made. I don't know. I might have made them on my channel like 8 years ago, nearly. But it's flannel. I just used flannel receiving blankets. I used the same PUL fabric. So it's a layer of this. It's 2 layers of flannel, and then I just have a backing on it. And so this is an absorbent nursing pad, but I've got lumps over here. Don't worry, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, and she's going to check them for me. I was at the massage therapist today. She felt them. They move. But I've got swollen lymph nodes. So I'm going to put this on this pad, and I'm going to stick it right here where these swollen lymph nodes are. I also have I have 1 over here and 2 over here. So I'm going to castor oil pack my armpits as well, and hope and pray that that helps move some things through my lymph nodes that are either inflamed or whatever's going on in there. I also have one here in my neck that's inflamed as well, and one back here on my neck that's inflamed. So I just have tons of inflammation in my immune system because my immune system's awful, but we're not going to talk about that. All right, so that's castor oil packs, and I'm sure some of you guys probably know all about them in the comments. I hope so, because I'm learning about them, and I'm learning about the benefits, and I'm hopeful that it can help you guys if you're having some trouble with some of the things I mentioned, and I hope that it helps me too. Oh no, Casey, I'm sorry about your niece. That's awful. That's hard. I think one of my kids had it. I think Torsten had it one time when he was around 18 months maybe. And it was really scary, but he wasn't hospitalized. I did take him to the ER, and they were like, just go home. You're fine. But it was scary because he was having a real hard time breathing. Barbara, thank you, Steva. Or is it Steva? I apologize if I pronounced it correctly. Barbara teaches you how to heal your body through food, herbs, and natural remedies. Yes, a retreat some kind of retreat like that would be really, really nice. I'm lucky that I discovered this holistic path about 14 years ago, and I've been on it and been dabbling with herbs. I haven't studied a lot. Like I've just applied herbs as I've needed in my life. So the herbs that I've used throughout my life are probably different than the herbs that some of you have used throughout your life. And that it looks different for everybody. So instead of me going out and filling my apothecary with every possible herb imaginable, what I do is when I have an ailment or when somebody in my family has something going on, I look up what herbs and what things will help for that situation. For instance, fevers. There's different herbs you can use like yarrow and feverfew, and there's just a variety of herbs that you can use to help bring down fevers. So things like that are really good to keep on hand. And then of course, which somebody pointed out to me the other day, that echinacea should not be used if you have a compromised immune system, if you are somebody that has a lot of autoimmune diseases. And so that was a wake-up call to me because I bought echinacea to help me and my family to boost our immune systems, and I've used it for years. And then I wasn't aware that it's something that you shouldn't use if you have an autoimmune issue. So learn something new every day. I still need to research that to see if I can still benefit from echinacea, but it was recommended to use things like lemon balm and elderberry and elderflower and some other different things to help boost my immune system, but not necessarily echinacea. So you have to be careful and research these things so that you can make sure you're using the right things for yourself and consult an expert, of course. So I have some various folks that I consult and that I have consulted over the years. For instance, in my very first pregnancy with my oldest son, I worked closely with a midwife that knew all about reflexology, and she did acupressure, and she worked a lot with essential oils. She was a midwife for the NHS, but she was also an independent midwife, and she's a breech birth specialist. So that's how I kind of dove deep into the birth world and became a midwife's assistant and a doula and all that sort of thing, and learned all about the herbs that are used in birth, in childbearing, and pregnancy, birth, postpartum. So I know I have a pretty broad knowledge of that because that's what I've spent the last 12 years of my life doing, is having babies and supporting women in birth. So it's just, like I said, my apothecary might look different than somebody else's, but if you have an ailment, just go online and look up what herbs help XYZ, and it'll tell you what herbs to look into, and then you can research those narrowed down group of herbs for your ailments and hopefully get relief from whatever it is that's bothering you. And there's like flower remedies. If you have a traditional Chinese medicine specialist in your area, they are really wonderful for herbal remedies as well. We have a couple of really awesome TCM practitioners locally to me. And I just recently met the female. I knew a male one, but I prefer working with female practitioners. So I'm switching my chiropractor to a female and my traditional Chinese medicine specialist to a female as well. But my functional medicine specialist also deals with a lot of herbs. So yeah, good stuff. I haven't found any cures yet, though. I haven't found any cures for my autoimmune stuff. But there's so many ways to support your body and your symptoms and to ease your symptoms with these things if you have chronic illness and disease. Your grandmother spoke of castor oil a lot, Shervin. Is it Sherry? You've been using the castor oil, Carol? You have really black kind in a dark bottle. Ooh, I haven't opened this one yet. This one's clear. So I wonder if I have the wrong kind. Or I wonder if yours might be mixed with something else. And Carol, are you using it in the castor oil packs, or are you just rubbing it on your skin? Because I know a lot of people use it for, I mean, there's so many things you can use it for. You can use it for hair growth. You can use it for different skin conditions. But yeah, the bone spurs. We're going to try that on Aaron because he has bone spurs on his shins from his combat boots. He developed a bunch of gnarly bone spurs. So I was like, we're going to try this because we've tried other things on other ailments that he's had with great success. So I was like, I wonder if this will work too. It'll be fun to see the results. Good for hair. Yes, it's good for your hair. Castor oil and apple cider vinegar and warm water and soak either full body or just the feet to help get rid of spurs and pain. Oh yeah, Sharon, thank you. That's just what we were talking about. Megan, you have analysis paralysis. I get that. So my husband was just telling me today, he said, have you heard about the Berky water filter drama? And I was like, no, what's up with that? And apparently the FDA or one of those government control organizations, one of them, what's the other one? The FDA, I can't remember. I'm having lots of brain fog. Anyways, they are banning the Berkey because it's in metal, and they're saying it's toxic or it's bad or whatever. So I also heard that they were trying to ban castor oil because it's kind of one of those things that a lot of people are discovering the health benefits of castor oil and they're finding healing with castor oil. And when you find healing with herbs and with castor oil and with different wellness remedies, all of a sudden the large companies go, oh no, there goes our profits. We can't let anybody find out about this. We can't let anybody use these things. We have to tell them what's bad about them and really push that agenda, right? So then the information gets lost. That good information gets lost because they're paying all these people to write these things about these remedies to shed bad light on them or to make them look bad or undesirable remedies or as not effective remedies compared to their pharmaceutical products or whatever. So it just damages their profits, right? I would give it a try. I'm totally freaked out about these lumps that I found under in my armpits, and these ones are very tender. This one on my collarbone's tender. They're still pretty small, but you can actually see these now. So I'm totally freaked out about it. So I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to try everything. I'm going to throw the book and try to get it moving. So I went today for a massage. My girlfriend does massage, so I said I need lymph massage because I've got a bunch of swollen lymph nodes and I'm freaking out, man. And so she did all the lymphatic massage for me, and nothing has gone down or decreased in size, but I'm hopeful that at least got the circulation going to those areas, and so stuff can start to move out if that's what needs to happen. So hopefully the castor oil helps with that too. Hi, Sarah from A Homesteading Hustle. Glad you're here. Hi, Catherine. What brand castor oil? So you want to get a cold pressed, and I don't know if this is cold pressed, but this is from my research. You want cold pressed, organic, and this one is a slow absorption. So I think all castor oil is going to be slow absorption, but you just want to make sure it's 100% pure castor oil, organic if possible, cold pressed if possible. This doesn't say if it's, oh, it does say cold pressed from the seeds of the organic tropical castor plant. So it moisturizes the skin and maintains balance, as well as helps move your bowels and all of that. So this says cooling castor oil pack recipe. 8 ounces of organic castor oil, 24 drops of lavender essential oil, 8 drops of peppermint essential oil, wool or flannel cloth, and then you combine the ingredients in a bowl, soak your cloth in the oil mixture, then place on the abdomen for relaxation. And I imagine that that would relax or stimulate your bowels or ease any tummy discomfort. So when I have one of my bowel attacks where I'm doubled over in pain, I might be able to tell Aaron, hey, go grab that bottle of castor oil and make me this real quick. And it'll help my belly, I hope. So, because we haven't found anything else to help in those flares besides just curling up in a ball and waiting for it to pass. You'd like to research Dr. Christopher blends to get an idea of what might work for what. Currently using joint formula for your inflammation. Oh, it did? So I think I saw I can get those blends locally at my grocery stores too, but I think they're also available on Azure Standard. Hello, Brazil. Hello, Douglas, who's writing from Brazil. You want to learn about essential oils for skin, circulation, mood. So the jury's still out on essential oils. Some people will say that they're way too strong and can affect your gut balance, even just breathing them and having them around. And then a lot of people say that they're really, really, really healing. So that's another one of those things. The information on the internet, you just never know. So you just have to go with what works for you. Oh yes, it's best if it's in a dark bottle, Carol. I thought you meant the oil. Is the oil dark or is the bottle dark? I think I was thinking you said the oil was dark, but I must have misread because I'm multitasking in my brain. Try the flannel. Yeah, just something cotton, I think, like an absorbent. You can use anything really that's absorbent, just probably it wouldn't work well with synthetics. Oh, something to do with pesticides about the Berky filters, and they said they can't put that on their label. Now, was that in the last day or two? Because it sounds like this was something that happened in the last like couple of days, and it's some drama with the vessel being the type of metal that it is. We have a Berkey filter, and I haven't put it back up since we moved out here. We got out of the city and we were no longer drinking city water, and that's when I was using it. And when we lived in the UK, I was using it. But when we moved out here, we had well water and we had our well water tested. It came back pretty good, but I'm starting to question all of that. And I think we're going to break back out our Berkey. I've been saving it for emergencies. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and invest and get some extra filters, especially if they try to ban them, because I guess they don't want people to have clean water in a survival situation. I'm not sure. If there's like a natural disaster or something, it's good to have some sort of water filtration at a minimal. Like, even if it doesn't get everything out, it's good to filter your water before you boil it. So I'm going to hang on to my Berkey and get some extra filters in case there's an issue. Yeah, and the castor oil, like you were saying, Carol, that was another thing. I recently just heard that they're trying to ban the castor oil. And so I panic bought castor oil too. And I only bought one bottle, but now I'm thinking maybe I should go back and get a couple more bottles just in case it is banned. I think right now they're just, I'm not sure what they're doing. They're trying to regulate everything. Freedom's not free. If you research the chemistry in question, you can't find anything bad about the Berkeys. What's hexane? Oh, yeah. What's hexane free? The oil? And it has to be cold pressed. Red. Hi, Red, by the way. I didn't say hi to you. But what's hexane free? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Megan clarified. Thank you, Megan. Cold pressed hexane free organic. Do you think if I use it, it might prevent my episode from happening? I'm hoping that by using it on my gut and with the heating pad, that was one thing I didn't mention. They recommend when you put it on to have heat. So I do have a heating pad. I haven't gotten it out yet, but I've got my heating pad. And tonight, when I get in bed, I'm just going to lay in bed and do my usual evening routine, do some work and relax with that on my belly with the heat. And I'm hopeful. They say there's an herbalist, and you might have seen it going around on Instagram or whatever, but she says that it will cure a variety of gut issues. So I'm willing to try it. I haven't had a gut pain issue since since eliminating gluten from my diet, but I have had when, like I said, when I had some of my daughter's pumpkin pie on her birthday, I did have a little bit of inflammation and pain in my gut, but it wasn't where when I was eating a lot of gluten, I was having like these massive gut flares and my stomach would distend out really, really far and I couldn't stand up straight. And it was just the most bizarre thing. And I was in denial about it being gluten. Like I knew it was gluten, but I didn't want it to be. I wonder if castor oil works on leg muscle cramps. Magnesium lotion, magnesium. Magnesium oil is really, really itchy. It will kind of cause like an itching, burning sensation if you're deficient in magnesium. Magnesium lotion can do the same thing if you're really deficient in magnesium. It's because your body's just like sucking it up, like just absorbing it super fast, and it causes like some tingling. But if you're not deficient, you won't get that. Also, you don't want to apply it if you've recently shaved your legs. That doesn't feel too good either. So magnesium glycinate, you can take that in a tablet form. That is really, really good for muscle stuff, muscle pains and aches and all that kind of stuff. But any type of leg cramping is typically, especially muscle cramping or leg pain in general, is due to magnesium deficiency, unless you have like circulation issues, and it's like pain from standing, in that case, compression socks. But magnesium, I swear by it because when I was a child, I had horrendous growing pains growing up. Some people remember having growing pains in their childhood, and then when my children started having growing pains, I was like, we've got to nip this. I do not want them to suffer how I suffered through growing pains because I had them pretty badly. So I discovered magnesium lotion, and I've been using it on them. When they wake up in the middle of the night crying in pain, we do magnesium lotion, and within 15 minutes, their leg pain is gone and they are back to sleep. I am not kidding. It is another one of those miracle things that doctors just don't tell you about. So you go to the doctor with your concerns about your child having leg cramps, and they might say, oh, put a heating pad on them or a hot water bottle or whatever, but they're not going to tell you that your child needs more magnesium and that you need to use magnesium lotion or somehow supplement them or give them more magnesium rich foods. They're not going to give you the cure or the relief the way you just got to find that stuff out on your own, sadly. But that's one reason why I started my channel. And I feel badly that I've gotten away from all this, because one of the reasons I started this channel, and I tell y'all a lot of the time, is because I wanted to share that there's alternative ways to do things, and that there's alternative ways to do things that aren't mainstream and that can heal you and that can provide you with comfort. And it's not going to be the Tylenol and the ibuprofen and the steroids and all that stuff all the time. Like, those things are great when you need them, and the prescriptions are great when you need them. Like, I need thyroid medicine. I can't get away from that. Haven't been able to. If you know the secret, let me know. Because in 15 years of having thyroid disease, I cannot talk, you guys. I have not been able to heal my thyroid. So if you know the secret, tell me. But there's ways that you can support it. So iodine, selenium. I used to have a pretty gnarly nodule on my thyroid, and when I started taking selenium and iodine in addition to my thyroid medicine, the nodule got smaller. And when I went to get a biopsy done, I had a panic attack and I didn't get it done, but they re-ultrasounded my thyroid and said that my nodule, my little thyroid tumor, had shrunk. So I was like, if it shrunk, then why am I here? I don't want to get this done if it's not growing. Like, if it's shrinking, then I don't have any concerns, right? And so I walked out of there and didn't get it done. But most allopathic doctors aren't going to say take iodine, take selenium, and these other things that are going to help support your thyroid health and prevent you from getting hypo or hyperthyroid conditions. I'm having a hard time saying my R's, like my mouth isn't working. Oh, Carol, you heard it months ago about Berkey's. You have a pro one on the countertop. Looks just like a bird. Yeah, I was looking at all those, when I was looking for filters today, because I thought, well, I better stock up on Berkey filters in case they ban them. I was seeing the Aqua Pures and the Aqua Pros and all the different, I mean, and then I saw on the filters on Amazon where you can buy the filters and all the reviews and the comments, people had made their own water filtration double stacked container system using the filters and making their own homemade device, just buying the filters from Amazon. And that's really cool and inspiring too. So if you need to find a filtration device on a budget, then go to Amazon and look up the Berkey water filters and then go to the reviews and see how people have made their own reservoirs for these systems. It's really cool. Or YouTube it. Just how to make your own Berkey filter. Yep. Casey, if it's good for us, they'll try to take it away. Maybe we're just paranoid. Where's my tinfoil hat? Maybe we need to start a tinfoil hat society. Hi, Kim. Glad you could join us. And Zoanne. Zoanne, I know. See, Zoe, I know Zoanne. I know you, Zoanne. So I'm not sure why I was saying Zoe girl or Zoe angel. You're going to try the castor oil for your IBS. Doctor suggested 2 drops of peppermint under your tongue. Haven't started that yet. I'm doing a whole gut protocol thing for, it's like IBS and it's just bowel issues, IBS, constipation, all that stuff. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, if I should do a whole live on it and show you the different supplements. I don't know if you guys are into all that stuff. It's pretty extensive. It's a lot and it's overwhelming. But I think it's helping, except for the fact that my hands, I'm having a pretty gnarly flare on my hands and my skin's peeling off. That's kind of the only major thing. The wrist issue's gone. Yeah, the price of the filters, I noticed that too. Insane increase. Hi, Tamara. Oh, you're in Chillican? That's so cool. Yes, Carol, heat will help it absorb into your pores and skin. I love reading through these comments because you guys are on top of your game down here. I was on Minight Farmhouses live earlier, and she has a moderator, which I thought was really cool. Because her moderator will go through and find websites and will answer questions, and he takes care of all of the chat stuff, and he is on it too. And the moderator is, now I'm blanking on their names, but their YouTube channel is Lazy Days Ahead. So check them out. And I just thought it was cool that she had a moderator. And I was like, I need to get someone to moderate for me and answer stuff and put links down in the comments and helpful information, all that kind of stuff. Hi, Kylie. I'm glad you made it. It's the fluoride filters, the powder aluminum in the filter. Oh, it doesn't show in tests. They say as long as it's wet and submerged, it doesn't show up. It's okay, but when they are dry, that's when it shows up. Earthly had a magnesium lotion that is awesome called Goodnight Lotion. Yes, awesome stuff. I used to rep for Jordan Essentials, and we sold magnesium lotion, but I have a friend now that I get it from. But you can look up Jordan Essentials online and they make one as well. But Earthly is another great brand. And I recommend the lotion because it's gentler than the magnesium oil. You can get the magnesium oil, and this is something I plan to do soon in the future because it's more economical for me with my growing 5 children to make my own magnesium salve. And I just buy the oil, and I already make our own moisturizer. So all I have to do is make our moisturizer, and that I make with tallow balm. Oh, that was another one I meant to mention earlier. Tallow balm, shea butter, vitamin E oil, You can use like any other kind of almond oil is really nice to go into your moisturizers too. So just whatever oil to help make it like a softer consistency. And add in your magnesium oil as well, and then blend it with an immersion blender, and you have a smooth, creamy magnesium salve. And I don't do exact measurements. I just kind of, which is really bad. I do have a recipe on my channel, but I've made it so many times now that I just kind of dump, and I couldn't tell you what the exact measurements are unless I looked at that video. Berky filters are not available right now. Berky is suing. Really? Because Kim, they're available on Amazon, or they were earlier today, but maybe you can buy them, but they just are like the shipping is never. I'm not sure. Because I ordered castor oil online last week. I think it was Thursday last week. And today I checked my order status and it said it wasn't arriving till the 14th. It had pushed it back because it was supposed to arrive yesterday. Well, it didn't arrive. What is today? Is today Monday? No, it was supposed to arrive today. It's supposed to arrive Monday. Did not arrive today. It's not supposed to arrive. Amazon updated it until the 14th. So I'm wondering if the 14th rolls around, are they going to push it back again? And then they're just never going to ship my castor oil. I don't know. So I got this at Natural Grocers, and they had 3 different brands, but one of the brands had 3 different types of oil. So if you can get to one of your local kind of grocery stores, natural-minded grocery stores that has maybe a organic section or a natural section, you'll likely find your castor oil there if you can't find it online. No shaving these legs. Not in winter. Azure has organic castor oil. I wonder if Azure has, because they do carry, I think they carry Acacia, or maybe they don't. Is that Mountain Rose herbs? But yes, Azure does have it as well. Probably in stock. They would probably have it in stock, and then everybody else would run out. Thank you, Carol. She said everybody hit the thumbs up for me. When I was watching Minight Farmhouses live earlier, and maybe it was because I was on my mobile, I couldn't find where to hit the like, but I had the whole screen up. I might have needed to minimize it to hit a like, but I couldn't find it when I was watching her live. Doug was talking about Berkey's a month or so ago. I think we might just be late to the game. Aaron and I we've been living under a rock lately. I haven't been watching the news or staying up to date, and I'll have people message me things or ask me if I know about this or that going on. And I'm just like, I have no idea. I'm living under a rock because that's my safe space. We are just now coming up out of a deep, dark hole, coming up out of the hole into the light. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind of the last couple of years, and we can finally see the light. Aaron retires on the 13th, you guys. November 13th. It's official. Better to have a tinfoil hat than a blindfold. Hi, Kim. I'm so glad you're here. That's why I need a moderator. I'm reading your all's comments. Red Bandit, the Berkey filters. You have to, this is one thing I saw today in my, when I was looking at filters. People commenting that their top reservoir was getting slimy and disgusting and all this kind of stuff. You have to clean it. You have to clean it. You have to scrub your filters. Every couple of days, you need to clean your Berky, the top, both ends, the top part and the bottom part. You need to clean them. They need to be scrubbed out. You got to get rid of all that nasty. If you leave water sitting in a cup for any amount of time, you're going to get slime and disgustingness in it. So the slime will happen in the top reservoir quicker than it will in the bottom reservoir, because the bottom reservoir, most of the nasty has been filtered out, right? So it's not going to get as funky as fast. But the top reservoir gets really gross, and you scrub the filters, and there's ways that you can kind of like make them last their full potential. Oh, Casey, maybe you need to moderate for me, but I don't have that many, we don't have a whole lot of people on here, but I might need a moderator just to take care of any riffraff that might come along. Carol, you sent me a letter. Carol, we have a package. Well, it's a large envelope ready for you. Oh my gosh, it's the cute. It's so cute. Annika has been writing her ABCs, and it's just so sweet because that's how she's writing letters. She just writes all of her ABCs all the way to X, Y, Z, and that's her letter. It's so cute. So I think that's going to be fun when you get that. I was trying to get it together today, but the day got away from me, so it's all sitting by the door, and I've got to get to the post office tomorrow, so I plan on shipping it out then. Jessie and Lisa. There you go. Yes, because Lisa makes amazing, amazing jams and jellies. They moderate lots of channels. Yeah. So I wonder, with the moderator situation, is that like a paid gig? Do you get paid to moderate for people? Especially because some people have really, really, really long lives. I don't. Usually mine are like an hour. I try to keep it under 2 hours usually, but I think after seeing other people have really long lives that if I'm doing something, maybe I'll just live the whole thing. So tonight, actually, I was going to do some more stuff, and I got off track, because that's how we do around here. We get off track. This was a Goodwill find a while back. These pants. These are a pair of like linen. Oh, what do you call them? They're like the really wide leg linen ones, but they're short. They're short, wide legs. But they have this cute little pleating on the right side. It's got pleats on the right leg, and then the left leg doesn't have anything, and they're high-waisted, but and they're linen, and they're very nice material. So I got them to have for next summer a while back, but this needs to be hemmed. So the string, there was like a strand of string came out of this, so it needs to be hemmed. I don't feel like breaking out my sewing machine to do that immediately, and I don't even need to break out a sewing machine, because it's just a little like it's just like a little tuck every, a little stitch every once in a while. So you can get this stitch witchery stuff, and you can iron the hem with this. So that's my plan. I'm going to iron the hem with that. I brought all my stuff in here to do that this evening. I'm going to iron that and fix that, and then I'm going to put my stitches in it and fix them up. But yeah, that was a really nice $5 find. These are from Zara, and they've got pockets, and they're just a nice tailored pair of linen summer gauchos, maybe that's what we can call them. Oh, I love thrift stores. I try not to always do like the need versus want thing when I do thrift shop, and I'll go around with a ton of stuff in my buggy, and then before I go to checkout, I like put everything back. Do I need this, or do I just want this? So those pants were a want. Didn't really need them, but they're a pretty color and cozy, comfy for summertime. Sarah, have you gone live? I think, didn't you go live a while back? You should go live. We should go live together, all of us. Wouldn't that be fun? Whipped tallow cream for your son's eczema. Oh, it's the best. It's so much better than anything you can buy. It really is. I love my tallow cream. Good morning, super style girl AA. You're Alicia. Hi, Alicia. That my mother-in-law, my late mother-in-law's name was Alicia. Even wet aluminum shows in some tests sometimes an increase, but apparently the test cannot tell the difference between regular aluminum and this other form. Oh. So don't use shea butter. Yeah, I noticed that it stays on top of our skin. It doesn't get absorbed, but it's more of like a protectant barrier because I get these gnarly sores on my hands. My hands crack and peel, and I find that the shea butter helps provide like a protecting layer. If you have a better suggestion, I also sometimes add beeswax to it, and especially in the wintertime. So the next time I make my salve, I think I'm going to add some beeswax to it for my hands. I just need something to coat them and to stay on them a lot better, especially washing my hands and things like that. So, oh, I don't know if you have any suggestions for that. For I always butcher it, dyshydraulic eczema, I cannot say it. It's spelt really crazy and the pronunciation is weird, but it's like diastrolic eczema or something like that. And it gets worse in the fall, winter time, gets better in the summertime. Gets worse with gluten in my diet and with hand washing. What do you mean that's how your live is now too? Is this messed up? C out of chat, then hit X. I don't know what y'all are doing some technical stuff that's way above my pay grade. How are you doing, Alicia? I am doing really good today. I went for my daily walk yesterday. Today I did not get out for my walk, but I noticed that if I don't walk for a few days, my back gets really, really stiff. And then I walked yesterday and I woke up this morning and I felt really good. So gotta do my daily walks. Today we just ran out of time because Aaron and Torsten were out of the house. They went somewhere for a little bit and they got back right at dark, and it's getting dark earlier. So I didn't get a chance to get out. I can't leave my kids home alone to go walking. Oh, you guys are talking about how to give this a like. Thank you. That's how. You go to the 3 dots at the top. Berk is now making ceramic filters, but they don't remove fluoride. Yes, thank you for the congrats to Aaron. We are counting down the days. We are counting down the days. We've been counting down the days for 3 years, but since August, we were shocked to find out in August that he had a retirement date, because we didn't think we were going to find out his retirement date till October, and then we thought it was going to be January, February time. We were hoping he was going to make it to his 18-year mark, but it just didn't work out. We stretched it out for as long as he could to get it as close to his 18-year mark as possible, but ultimately, November 13th it is. We're really excited about that. He is going to school full-time to get his bachelor's in education and then to get his master's and his doctorate in education. So maybe he'll be a dean at a college one day, or maybe he'll be a principal, or maybe he'll be the head of a school board or a professor. But really, he is working with the PGA to be a golf instructor, to be a golf coach. So maybe he'll work at a college and coach a golf team and be a professor. So those are kind of the path that he's on right now. And I'm just going to keep doing my stuff. I'm going to keep doing my hustle, which is birth and postpartum doula, YouTube, and I do various things for my local community. Like I make elderberry syrup and stuff like that and sell it locally. Oh, and if you guys want, I still have all my elderberries. Hold on. Oh. Okay, so we've got freeze-dried elderberries, and this is how I'm shipping them out. We got 1 ounce packs. We've got 3 ounce packs. We've got 2 ounce packs. So if you want some freeze-dried elderberries, they are $15 an ounce, free shipping. And you can just email me to do that. I have tons of elderberries. Hit the mother load and last year and this year. So I freeze dry them, and I was making elderberry syrup, but now I'm just selling the elderberry kits or just the straight up freeze dried elderberries. Because it's a lot making the elderberry syrup. I would make like 6 quarts at a time, and I ended up making lots of messes. Lots of messes, and elderberry is a big mess when you're making that much. Elderberry is safe to take every day to help boost your immune system. It is nature's flu shot, so it can fight against the flu. It is one of the most effective remedies fighting the flu. And lots of yuckies. Oh, yes, I need a moderator. Sarah, no payment for moderators that you're aware of. I'm super far behind in chat, but I'm glad that the chat is going slow this time. There have been times when the chat goes so fast I'm not able to scroll and read it, but this live we're able to scroll and read. So you run vinegar through your Berky filters and let them soak, but not the white fluoride filters. You scrub the outside of those. We use vinegar to clean the equipment. It's good enough for my water. Yep, for medical equipment. Yep. Gaucho pants. Yeah. Gauchos. Oh, thank you guys. See, this is how far I am. I need to skip all this stuff and get back down here to the bottom. Sorry. Hi, Macy. Oh, thank you. You're sweet. Oh, Kim, you guys are so nice. Hi, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan van der Werf. Your friend makes a salve that you swear by for dry hands, and you use that as a chapstick and a cuticle cream. I must know what's in that. Ooh, for eczema, research black currant oil. Yes, Kim, that's what I saw today. I was like, they're so expensive though. Did you see the Berky filters that were $250? I was like, what are they made of? Gold? Holy moly. We're just talking about charcoal filters here, but it's the Berky brand. So there's a whole bunch of other brands and knockoff brands and things like that. So I was debating today. I'm like, which one do I go with? I think there was Aqua Pure. That looked fairly reputable, I think was the brand. If you guys use any of the knockoff brands. So when you read the reviews of the knockoff brands, some are going to say the water flows through too quickly. So they're afraid that because the water flows through the filter quicker than a Berky filter, the concern is that it's not filtering well enough. Yeah, making lotion. I haven't quite. I think I still need to add a lot more oil, I think, and whip it up a little bit better. Every time I've made my salve or my lotion, I mean to whip it up when it gets to a certain coolness or a certain consistency. That's when you whip it. And I always walk away and get busy with something and come back and it's a solid it's completely solid. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to reheat it again. We're just going to go with it this way. But you can whip it to make it a whipped consistency so that you can spread it easier. Yeah, Casey, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna need a moderator. Oh, thanks, Kylie. I'm glad that you liked them. Yeah, the freeze dryer, I swear it preserves them perfectly. And when you rehydrate them, they're basically perfect berries. Again, I mean, you could make a pie with them. Yes, some easy Xmas or Christmas ideas that are all natural home remedies to gift. If you go to my wellness remedies playlist, you might find some things in there because I have shared over the years a few things. Um, you have made it if you need a moderator. I haven't made it yet. Oh my gosh, my sweet, sweet kids. Annika came up to me in the kitchen earlier and she said, Mom, Torsten said you're famous. And I was like, no, sweetie, I'm not famous. I'm your mama. And she's like, but Torsten said you are. He said you're famous. So my kids, honestly, I think because my husband tells them I'm famous on YouTube because they just think I'm famous, but I'm not. It's not. I have not been recognized. Actually, I have been recognized in public. And you might actually be on this chat now, I'm not sure. But I was at an Azure pickup and somebody recognized me. And then I was at a produce pickup at my local library and somebody recognized me there. So I've been recognized twice, but not recently because I'm a hermit. I don't make it out. I'm still laughing at that, Sherry. If you need a moderator, you have made it. Yes, the elderberry syrup super easy to make. Pro 1 filters is what you use. Pro Pure. So this is what I did. I boiled hot water and made some extra tea because I knew I would be in here for a while talking to you guys. So this tea in this thermos, because I have a different tea, I've got a tea bag in here. It's a kava stress release blend. You guys see the pattern here? I'm trying to get my cortisol levels up. I wake up in the morning in my fasting labs. My cortisol is at an 8. And I think like a normal range is like 15 to 20 is like the minimum where they want you at. But my fasting labs, I'm already starting my day out depleted and stressed out. So I'm doing like all the stress relief, everything I possibly can to try to help my cortisol get back into a normal, healthy limit so that I'm not crying all the time. And it's like this live, I'm not actually crying, but my last live, I was almost crying all the time. And then today, when I went and my girlfriend was, the massage therapist was working on me, I was crying while she was working on me. I was just like having a release, I think, because she was working on my lymph system, and I was just having a release. But man, been a rough few years. Been stressful. I was telling her, because it's not, maybe it is the military life that's stressful, but I think when you are put in multiple stressful situations and you don't have any support system, it's really, really hard. And when you are a military family, you're put into like really high stress situations over and over and over and over again, and you have zero support. Like you can't call your mom or your grandma or your auntie or your sister or your brother or your grandpa or dad or anybody to come help you because there is nobody. There is no tribe. There is no community. There's nobody. So it's just you and your mostly absent spouse because they're either deployed or gone or working all the time or whatever. And it's been crazy. So that's why we're taking this year. We thought as soon as he was done with the military, we were going to up and move. And then we both just like looked at each other and we said, we have a retirement date. Now we're just going to chill. We're going to take a little bit of time to chill. And we're not going to throw ourselves into like a massive stressful situation, like a cross-country move immediately, especially when the military will move us up to a certain amount of time from his retirement. So we have time to make that decision. So we're just going to chill out for a little while and no rush to do any major life changes. Got to get our adrenals working better and our stress ability to cope with stress under control. Yes, Sarah, massage can definitely trigger an emotional release. Yeah, it does every time. And I decided a couple months ago that I was going to go and get a massage monthly because ending up in an ER with super locked up spasming back muscles, and my psoas muscle was spasming so severely, I can't live like that. So I've got to go and just keep everything loosened up. Have to. Do you request to have labs for cortisol? My long story short, need to see the OBG labs done again, but I'm hoping. So when I had multiple miscarriages 3 years ago, that's when I started diving into what's wrong with my body. Like, what's happening? Why can't I carry a pregnancy when I've been able to carry pregnancies before without an issue? I never had miscarriages up to that point. That was when my provider back then, who's now my provider again, we've had a lapse in care, but she started doing all the testing, and it's just a full blood lab draw where they do everything. So I probably have it right here and I can tell you. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can find it. I might be able to tell you exactly what test it is. I might not have it right here, but I've been looking through all my records recently. I don't know if it was a part of my ANA panel. I know ANA tests for different stuff, but here we go. I don't know what kind of lab this was. But it checked, hold on a second. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to list all this out for you, Megan, so just hold on. These were the tests that were ordered. Cortisol. She actually ordered a test for cortisol specifically. So, like, it was free T4, TSH, all my thyroid labs, CBC, CMP, ferritin, FSH, hormone panel. The hormone panel tested free total testosterone, progesterone, estradiol, DHEA, SHBG, insulin, lipid panel. They did an anti-thyroglobulin, vitamin B12, vitamin D, free T3, and anti-thyroid peroxidase. Well, that's a lot of stuff. So, anyways, it says tests ordered, and then it was specifically a cortisol test to test that. And so let me find cortisol. Okay. So the range that they want you in is 6 to 22.6. And 6 being, or 6.7 being like very low. I'm at an 8. And optimal range is 20 to 25 is your optimal range for the morning. Like, you should wake up in the morning and your cortisol should be between 20 and 25. I wake up in the morning at an 8. So, man, like, when my doctor told me that, I started immediately crying. I was like, she told me that I woke up at an 8 and I was that depleted, and I just broke down in her chair and I was like, I can't take anymore. You can't like keep piling this crap on me. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? And they haven't told me how to fix it yet. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out myself. And then the histamines, yeah, you can get your histamines checked. So when I had my miscarriages, my histamines were at 1200, and they want your histamines down in like the 2 to 300 range. That's, they want them low. So when I was having miscarriages, my histamines were in the 1200 range. One of the ways that I was able to carry my last baby was I took a Benadryl every single day. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, or as soon as I thought I was pregnant, I was taking a Benadryl and a baby aspirin every day. And the Benadryl was to help keep my histamines low so that my body wasn't attacking my baby and killing it, basically. And then the baby aspirin was to prevent a subchorionic hemorrhage, because one of my miscarriages was due to my placenta tearing away and then a bleed happening. And then eventually it just, the bleed was too much. The placenta tore away too much. I'm not really sure, but lost that baby too. So the baby aspirin was to help with that. But I also, if you're having miscarriages, look up It Starts with the Egg by Rebecca Fett. Go to my pregnancy, birth, and postpartum playlist. I have all the information there about my miscarriages, about the protocol that I did for my miscarriages so that I could carry a pregnancy. I was supposed to take 3 solid months, but I only did 2 months of the protocol, and then I got pregnant. And I was supposed to wait 3 months and do the protocol for 3 months and then try to achieve pregnancy, because it helps. The protocols help your eggs. They help the quality of your eggs. You can improve the quality of your eggs, of your egg reserve. So even if you're aging and you're 40, like I'm 40 now, so if I wanted to try to conceive again, I would do another protocol for 3 months and make sure that I am good to go, health-wise and supplement-wise, nutritional-wise, and that my eggs have the best opportunity and best health to conceive another baby. So It Starts with the Egg by Rebecca Fett. She has protocols in there for all sorts of infertility scenarios and miscarriage scenarios and autoimmune and various things. So there's different chapters for different protocols for different scenarios based on what your individual situation is. So if you, whatever protocol that might be specific to you might be different for me. So I was on an autoimmune protocol and a multiple miscarriage loss protocol. It was a diet change, tons of supplements, things like inositol and oh gosh, I can't even remember them all, like Vitex, which is really good for your ovary reserve, and it's chase tree berry. And there was a lot of supplements that I was taking to improve egg quality, and eating a certain diet to help with that too. So sorry to hear about your miscarriages, but definitely know that that there are ways to help yourself. And there's also, oh, well, that wouldn't pertain to you, but if you can achieve pregnancy, there are ways to help your body keep the pregnancy. So highly encourage you to dive down that rabbit hole. There's a whole Facebook page. It Starts with the Egg by Rebecca Fett. That is very helpful. There's lots of knowledge there on that Facebook page. It's a bunch of women who have gone through miscarriages and loss and infertility, all coming together and sharing their experiences, and you can learn a lot from them as well. So I always recommend, because it worked for me. It worked for me, and I have my little Bodhi bear, my little Bodhi baby, to show for it. And I'm not sure. We would like to have more children. We would like to have at least one more child. I don't know that it's in the cards for us. I'm going to go see the rheumatologist. I'm going to get these lumps checked out. I'm going to just stay on top of my health and do the best I can for myself, and just make sure that I cross all my T's and dot all my I's before we try to even go down the road of having another baby, if there's one in the future for us. But right now, we got to get my health sorted and make sure that there's like nothing crazy going on with my autoimmune diseases that we need to manage with like some kind of treatment plan that's not good for pregnancy. So I'm just trying to get through all my testing, and all of that stuff is happening starting in January. And then once I get through some of that, then we can kind of like readdress all of that information, all that stuff. So make sure that I get some things corrected in my lab work because my lab work doesn't look the best. And tomorrow I'm going to go and get my lab results from my last bit of blood work because I get blood work fairly often. Like every 3 months I get blood work. So tomorrow I need to go. I had blood work last week. Tomorrow I go and I find out the results of my most recent blood work, and we can kind of have things checked out that I need checked out tomorrow. Get these lumps in my armpits checked out. Um, do you all know about thermography? Or instead of mammograms, you can do thermography of your breasts to look for cancerous tissue, and it's less invasive and less radiation exposure than a mammogram. Um, so it's thermal imaging, sorry, thermal imaging. I'm interested in that, and I'm hopeful that tomorrow, I think the normal protocol is I go in and she checks everything out, and then I'll be referred. I can go do a walk-in ultrasound over at the hospital, and they can ultrasound those lumps just to make sure that they look okay, and they can take measurements and everything, and then from there, determine what to do next. Hopefully the ultrasound is like totally fine, but I just want to make sure that these lumps aren't from anything else. And I'm sure that it's just because my immune system's crazy from having 3 autoimmune diseases. I'm sure that I just have inflammation in my lymph nodes from that. I don't have massive lymph nodes. I would say the ones under my armpit are about that big. 2 on this side, 1 on this side. So, and they're tender, they hurt. But I think they're just inflamed. So we're gonna get everything checked out. Yeah, Megan, stress, oxidative stress, and it is killer. And that's what causes cancers and stuff like that in our bodies. So trying to take a year of time for us to get back down to a normal level of stress. Yeah, we're just gonna take this time because Aaron and I, we carry our stress like this, and we carry it in our jaw, and we carry it like clenched up and locked up, and then our muscles are just constantly tired and always on fire, always. And we just need some time to take a deep breath and heal. Oh, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. Most of my closest friends, and this is the truth, are licensed massage therapists or hairdressers. Isn't that a fun fact? Like the people that are closest to me, my closest relationships. And so every time I find out like Casey is and Sarah is, and it's just funny because y'all are my buddies on social medias. A lot of you all are my friends on social media, and you guys are hairdressers or involved in some kind of like loving on other people, right? You're the type of people that just want to love on other people and help them feel better and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, those are just the type of people that I end up being friends with. My sister is a hairstylist. My best friend back in Virginia is a hairstylist. My mother-in-law was a hairstylist. My mom was a hairstylist. My mom's best friend was a hairstylist. And then my sister-in-law is a massage therapist. And then Allie and Sarah. And it's just funny. It cracks me up. I've been thinking about that too. Like how awesome it would be to be a massage therapist and to like work through people's bodies and get those lumps and bumps out. And yes, Megan, in constant fight or flight mode. It's one thing I think for me, being in constant fight or flight mode for the last 13, well, most of my life, but as a mother, almost all my babies were born over 42 weeks because I had no support system. So I'm like a mother with all these children, right? And I'm supposed to be having a baby, but I don't have a support system. So I never felt safe to release my babies. I never felt like I was in a situation with enough support to release my babies. That's what I think. I think I had like a psychological hang up around all my births. And so my fourth baby was a 43 weeker, and I used castor oil to get her out. My third baby, my water was broke for 3 days at 40 weeks, and my body did not want to go into labor. I was in a new town. I didn't know anybody. All I knew was my midwife, and that was it. And I'm supposed to have this baby, and I had no support system. Oh my gosh. Talk about crazy times. But my midwife started a meal train for me, and we had dinners for 2 weeks after our third baby was born. All these people came out of the woodwork to support our little family, who was this military family that just moved to this new town, and we had nothing. We had nobody. So it was such a blessing, such a blessing. But my fight or flight, when I went to 43 weeks with my daughter, I was at 41 weeks, I think, and I was on a walk by myself, and I got chased by 2 big dogs, and I ran up this hill and jumped into this bush, and I was like yelling at these dogs in this deep voice. I was like, "Go home, go home." And then I heard, yes, I heard a dog. I heard like this high-pitched sound, and it was the owner blowing a dog whistle. Yes, I could hear it. No, I'm not a dog. And the dogs just like stopped in their tracks and just went trotting up the hill with their tails wagging. And here I thought they were going to eat me stomach first, baby and all. And so I stayed pregnant for 2 more weeks after that. I had thorn cuts all over my legs, scratches all over my legs. Totally went into fight or flight and stayed pregnant for 2 more weeks after that. So, oh my gosh, stress. Stress is killer. Oh man, it's killer. It is so bad for us. It can affect us in so many ways physiologically, and especially when it comes to birth. I think, at least for me, it made all of my births crazy. Was all that it was through my primary care provider, Megan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging. I hope you're still here. So yes, my primary care. But my midwife, who is also a women's health nurse practitioner, she ordered all that stuff for me. So you just have to know, like, to ask your doctor, be like, "Hey, can you test my cortisol? Can you do fasting labs for me and test my cortisol? Can you test my thyroid? I want my full thyroid panel. I want a full lab workup. I want all my vitamin levels checked. I want my hormone levels checked." That's what you tell your doctor. You're like, "I just want a full blood panel workup. I want to know cortisol, thyroid, hormones, vitamins, all of it. What are my white blood cell counts? What are my red blood cell counts?" You need to know all that information. I also have really high levels of C-reactive protein, but because I have because I have autoimmune diseases, it's possible that the high C-reactive protein is just there from the chronic inflammation from all these autoimmune diseases. We don't know. So that's another thing that I have to get rechecked. So yeah, it's just got to take care of ourselves, right? Now is not a good time to buy a house. Hunker down. Yep. That was another thing. Right now, we don't think that, even though we live in the Pacific Northwest and housing prices, actually, I'm starting to realize like housing prices on the East Coast are very similar to the housing prices here on the West Coast now in a lot of areas, but Kentucky's looking good. A few other states are looking pretty good. Oh, if my antihistamine is compensating for my cortisol? That's a good question. I don't know that I've had my adrenals checked, though. Kylie, you're a licensed cosmetologist. That is awesome. See? Sometimes pain is good. It usually means not cancerous. That is true, unless it's inflammatory breast cancer. So, um, there's lots of women whose doctors have put them off because they've had breast pain and lumps in their armpits. And the doctors say, well, breast cancer doesn't cause pain, so it's probably not cancer. It's probably this inflammatory breast disease, whatever. But there is an inflammatory breast cancer that presents with pain, and it can go into the lymph nodes. But I don't have constant pain. I just get shooting pains sometimes, and then I'm just kind of achy where my arm is rubbing the lymph nodes constantly. It's just sore and tender. But I don't think that I have pain. I think I just have tenderness and then sometimes shooting pains. But I think the shooting pains are probably normal, especially because I've been a breastfeeding mom for 12 years. I don't know. Maybe it's my milk ducts drying up. I don't know. Maybe my lymph nodes are inflamed because I quit breastfeeding 9 months ago, and maybe they're just like that. You know, maybe they're just inflamed because they're eliminating milk or old milk. I'm not sure. They're just processing whatever's remaining in my breast tissue. I don't know. So there could be just a simple explanation, but it's always good to get your lumps and bumps checked out, isn't it? Especially when you have a autoimmune disease that increases your chances of breast cancer. And scleroderma is one of those autoimmune diseases that increases your risk of certain cancers by a few percents. So that is a concern. That is a concern. So you've got to kind of look at the whole picture and what a person, like everything that's going on. But because I have swollen lymph nodes in various areas, I have one in my groin, I've got them in my armpits, and I've got them in my neck. I don't think that it's anything crazy. I think it's just my immune system's crazy. Oh, Sharon, you're a beauty and massage therapist, and a pre-master in Reiki. Reiki is really, really interesting. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if my wrist pain came from a car accident that I was in about 7 years ago. I was getting onto the interstate and I hit a patch of ice on a bridge, and it turned my car into a 90-degree angle straight into a concrete barricade. And I had really, really bad wrist pain. Immediately after that car crash, I rode down the street to my friend's house. We were able to get the car moved down the road to her house, and she did Reiki. And she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think I'm okay, but my wrist really hurts." From the impact holding onto the steering wheel, I hurt my wrists. I didn't break them or anything like that, but I was having pain in my wrist. And so she did Reiki on me right then and there. And I'm not kidding when I say I felt the pain escape. I felt the pain leave. And so that was really, really cool. And it was just a blessing that she was right there nearby where I had the accident. Oh, y'all, I wrecked my husband's 3rd gen 4Runner. That was his baby pride and joy. And he said, I was going to work, I was going to a doula client, and it was wintertime and it was raining and there was just black ice on the bridge, but I didn't know it because the temperature, it didn't seem like it was that cold, but apparently around the bridges it is. So yeah, I crashed his 4Runner into a concrete wall at 40 miles an hour. That was not fun. And he had bullets. He had bullets in it, and I don't know what happened in the car. Oh, it was there was bullets in the car, but when the car hit the concrete wall, the airbags deployed and it smells like gunpowder. So I thought the impact of the car made the bullets go off on their own. This is how terrified I am of firearms. Even though I use them, they still scare me. But the gunpowder from the airbags deploying, I thought that the bullets, so I got out of the car, and the first person that stopped, I was like, am I shot? Am I shot? I was like, am I bleeding anywhere? And they were just like, what? I was like, because there's a bunch of bullets in the car, and I thought that they might have, because I had just crashed, I smelt gunpowder, and that's the first place my head went to, was these bullets just went off and shot me. God. Bye, Casey. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, I do everything 764. Your wrists ache all the time and you don't know what to do. I just said this earlier in this video, so rewatch it when you get off of here. Comfrey leaf. I did a Comfrey poultice yesterday on my wrist. My wrist had been hurting for about 5 days. unexplained pain. I couldn't put pressure on it, couldn't twist jars, couldn't do anything. I did a Comfrey poultice for about 6 hours, and today I woke up no wrist pain. None. I can put pressure, I can lift, I can support my body weight. I could not do that yesterday. So Comfrey is the bone knitter, and it also helps with joint inflammation and pain and all that stuff. So you make a salve, you make a tea, you put it on a compress, not in the bag. You take the compress out, you wrap it around, you wrap an ace bandage or something else around it to secure it and to keep it from getting all your stuff wet. And then you have pain relief, a natural remedy to heal you and to help your pain. I forgot about it, and then one of the subscribers mentioned it in my last video because I was like, oh, I've been having wrist pain when I do certain things. And she said, have you tried Comfrey, down in the comments? And I was like, no, I haven't. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So immediately went and put the Comfrey salve on for yesterday. Or not the salve, but the poultice. And no pain today. I'm amazed. I'm sold. Hi, Courtney. Glad to see you here. Yeah, Comfrey is awesome. So there, good night, Zoanne. So, is it Comfrey? I think it's Comfrey. So there was this, let me tell you guys the story about Comfrey. So there was this farmer, and he knew another farmer that had this old cow, and this old cow wasn't producing milk. She was just old and decrepit and just a sad, sad cow. So this farmer gave it to this other farmer, and he was like, I'm going to give this cow Comfrey. So he starts feeding this cow Comfrey just every day, giving it Comfrey. And that cow started producing amazing golden milk. She started moving around a lot better. She didn't act like she was in pain or arthritic. Her hair grew, her coat was beautiful, and he had this beautiful, amazing, vibrant cow again because he was feeding it Comfrey. And so I'm a believer. You can drink it in a tea as well, I'm pretty sure. So you don't want to use a lot of it because it does get like slimy jelly-like, but you do want to you can make a tea with it and drink it internally. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, you want to see what I do with the castor oil packs? I mean, I can do that right now. We can do that right now. Let me get my stuff, and I'll just share that with you guys right now. Why not, right? So this one's going to go on my belly. This is a wool flannel fabric. And so what I'm going to do is I fold it in half this way, and then I'm going to fold it in half again, because what I want to do is I want it to go like this on across my gut. And then I'm going to pour some on these reusable breast pads, and I'm going to stick them on my armpits right there. Castor oil takes quite a while to absorb into the fabric. So let me see if I can do this without making a huge mess. Then you just let it sit here and absorb in your fabric. And then you put it on your skin. And so we're just going to let this soak in. Help it along a little bit. There we go. Okay. So, am I going to show you guys how I do this? All right. I might get it started and then come back on camera. Okay, it's best if you warm it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay, I'm going to put a heating pad over my belly And I have a really large heating pad, so I'm going to tuck it up underneath of my armpits too. And, okay, so remember, I don't want to get my ace bandage or any of my stuff nasty, or my shirt or anything. So we are going to wrap this poly. This is a poly wrapped fabric. We're going to wrap that around, and then you can wrap it with an ace bandage to hold it all in place. So I might do that before I stick on my other wrap. Just to hold it in there securely in place. I also have a belly bandit that you can use, or any kind of thing just to hold it. I'm going overkill on all the protective layers. And this one I'm going to need to, I'm going to have to adjust this one in particular. And then just pull your shirt down over top of it, and then I can lay the heating pad on over top. Oh no. Oh no, I made a mess. Managed to spill castor oil on my glass desktop. Whoops. Whoopsie. Oh man, just bust my tissue. I'm making a huge mess, you guys. This is not good. Hold on a second. Now where's the lid? Oh, bless. Now we've lost the lid. There it is. So yeah, you want to, the heat will help your body absorb the castor oil, and then the castor oil will go and do all of its healing. Apparently it helps heal your gut, helps with constipation and IBS. So when I raced motocross, I had horrendous IBS. I cannot tell you guys how nervous I got before every race. It was very detrimental. Probably, it probably zapped a lot of my cortisol before I even married Aaron and started this life with him. I'm pretty sure that the stress of motocross and the stress of the type of work that I did, I was in environmental remediation, removing mold, lead, asbestos from people's homes, and I was in excavation. So I operated heavy equipment and shovels, wheelbarrows, rakes, those machines that spray the grass pulp on hillsides. I used to do that too. I used to ride on a tractor with the hose and spray the hillsides with like paper mache seeds from a big tank. So yeah, lots of beat up on my body, lots of stress. So, all right, Megan, did that help explain it a little bit with the castor oil packs? Have I ever had acupuncture? Yes, I love acupuncture. I actually have had acupuncture in almost all of my pregnancies, and acupressure. And acupressure with moxibustion to try to get a baby to flip. Oh, Megan, you make comfrey and calendula salves? Oh, calendula is so nice. It's such a good healing skin flower. It's so good. Yes, liver packs. So you can also, like I'm doing this on my gut. You can do them on your back as well. Or place them like up here over your liver area. Yeah. You can, I mean, endless possibilities. No, I have not done them before. This is my first ever castor oil pack experience. I have taken castor oil when I was 43 weeks pregnant. I took half a dose in midwife's brew, 2 drinks, and got my baby out so that my midwife could attend, because my other option was to go into the hospital at 43 weeks pregnant, and I wasn't about to do that, or go unassisted, and I wasn't prepared to do that either. So that's my experience with castor oil, and let me tell you, that was no fun. I don't recommend. I didn't do enough to cause any distress to the baby. I just did enough to make myself miserable. All right, start for 30 minutes max. All right, that works out perfect. So I won't wear this overnight. I'll wear some heat on it. I might do an hour before bed and then take it off. I won't do an overnighter. Yes, having your gallbladder removed, I imagine, would stress out your liver and adrenals. Chiropractors are great. If you have a good chiropractor, I've had experience with we have a lot of male chiropractors around here that like do a 5-second crack and get you out the door, and they charge you like $60. It's insane. So both my midwife and my massage therapist have recommended the same lady chiropractor, and I just need to make the switch. We have a program here, and I'm not sure. I need to find out if this particular chiropractor fits in that program, but you pay a yearly fee, and then that lowers your chiropractic payments. So if you pay the yearly fee, which is like $80, you can have your whole family on the plan, and then your chiropractic appointments are $30 every visit, as many visits as you want. So I'm not sure if this lady is in that program, so I need to call and find out and transfer to her, because she's the type of chiropractor that looks at your whole body. She looks at everything going on with your health, and she kind of does like, she's not the, oh, what's wrong? Oh, you have a pain in your rib, whack, crack, you're out. She kind of takes into account like what's going on with you, and then applies her treatment or her manipulations according to that. So I have discovered that when I have a rib out, I don't need to go to the chiropractor. I use a foam roller, and I can roll and get my ribs to pop back in, because my ribs pop out a lot. So, and when that happens, I can't breathe without pain and that sort of thing. So I get instant relief. If I can't get instant relief on my roller, then I'll call the chiropractor and go get an adjustment. And usually they can get my rib or whatever popped back in. But yeah, I do get severe muscle spasms and stuff that pull my ribs out, which isn't fun. My muscles just kind of seize up, and it's a battle in there. Good old motocross. Dirt bikes. Kick my butt. Yes. Chiropractors that see women and babies, all that stuff. Those are the good ones. Love a good chiropractor. I had a great chiropractor when I lived in Virginia, and she was a female. She was actually the one when I was I 16 or 18? When I was 16, I hurt my back, and then I kept going to the doctors, and I was a long distance runner. I ran cross country. I ran the 800, the 1600, the 3200 in track. I ran the 300 hurdles in track, and I was having a lot of pain, but I also snowboarded and jumped out of a second-story window like an idiot when I was 16, and I was having horrendous pain for a long time, and they said, oh, you're too young to have a back injury, so it can't be that. And then they said, oh, the type of pain you're having isn't nerve pain, so it's not typical nerve pain, so you don't have anything wrong with your back. And then I went to Stacy Clark, a female chiropractor, and she did some testing on me, and she said, you have a lot of inflammation in your sacrum. You need to go get a scan. So I went and had, like, I can't remember what it was, a CT or MRI or something of my spine. And they said, oh, you have herniated discs in your spine. And I was like, oh, is that why I've been in excruciating pain for 2 years? But I was going to physical therapy at a running specialist physical therapist. I was going to a UVA running specialist doctor. And that doctor was the doctor for the UVA's long distance runners, for all their runners, and they were putting me in physical therapy and manipulations and doing things to my body that made my back way worse, because they were trying to correct, in their opinion, one of my legs was shorter than the other. So I was having tendonitis in my hip, and I was having this in my knee and that in my ankle. And it was really radiating sciatic nerve pain all the way down my legs. But they were trying to say it was a mechanical thing. And then they found out it was my herniated discs in my back, and they were all like, oh my gosh, we are so sorry. And if I would have known better, maybe I could have sued or something for like mistreatment or maltreatment or malpractice or whatever, because I was in chronic pain for those 2 years of my life. And they just, every time I'd go to physical therapy, they made my pain way worse. So then after 2 years of that malarkey, I started going to pain management clinic, and they started giving me steroid epidural injections in my spine so I could function and run. So I would get the epidural injections, and after a few days, I'd feel like $1,000,000, and I'd go running, and I'd feel great for 3 months, and it would wear off, and I'd go get another one. And then finally, I wised up one day and I said, hey, what are the long-term side effects of these? And the doctor couldn't tell me. He was like, well, it's a new thing, so we don't know. We don't have the studies to tell you what the long-term side effects of injecting your spine with this stuff can do. And so I said, oh, okay. Oh, maybe I won't get them anymore. So I stopped getting them because I wised up. I was like, I don't know if this is going to do more long-term damage or not. So I did what anybody would do, and I started racing motocross like an idiot. But that actually strengthened my core so much that, I mean, I still had back pain, but I had way less. I was able to do all the things that I loved, and yes, I still had pain, but my core was so strong that it helped alleviate some of that pain. So, but it was the female chiropractor who, even though I was seeing all these male specialists, all these bone doctors and um, orthopedic running doctors and sports medicine specialists and all these fancy people at UVA that were misdiagnosing me for 2 years. It was the chiropractor who discovered it. And that was kind of like when I lost faith in the allopathic medical system, because they let me down. They really let me down. I mean, when I tell you I was in pain, I would come home, I would be fine while I was running, but when I stopped running and when the adrenaline wore off, the pain would kick in, and I would just have fire legs. My legs would ache and burn so bad. I was in excruciating pain every day. And yeah, and for 2 freaking years, it was just crazy. So I think part of that, that injury and going through all of that and all the inflammation also took its toll on my immune system. It might be some of the reason why I developed autoimmune diseases was the stress from that injury, the constant stress of me running every day, long distances. Some days I'd run 10 miles, some days 15. Some days it would be an easy 3-mile run, whatever, or hill training or whatever. But it was a lot of damage I was doing to myself, not knowing that I was injured, because I was being gaslit and told that what I was feeling wasn't what I was feeling, when really it was. And there was something major underlying going on. And it took a woman to figure it out, y'all. The dudes couldn't figure it out. I've just been gaslit by males in the medical field forever, but it's always the women that figure it out. They're more in tune. They're just more in tune and more willing to listen, more empathetic, more, we're going to figure this out and get you out of this misery that you're in. And the male doctors, they want to solve it, and they're like, take this drug, take that drug. No, I don't know. You know how dudes want to solve it. You have a wonderful male chiro. I do know that there are great male chiropractors. I believe that there are. I just haven't had that experience with the last 2 male chiropractors that I've had. And I found out when I was pregnant with my last baby. I was 40 weeks pregnant, or no, I was 30, like the end of my pregnancy. It was like 39 weeks or something. And I found out that my chiropractor was a sex offender. And it made sense why every single appointment he had to have an extra person in the room with him. And so at the end of my pregnancy, I was still pregnant for a few more weeks. I quit going. And I don't know, like, why didn't I know that before? Like, Aaron and I were both going to this guy, and it took my massage therapist saying, oh, do you know about so-and-so's history? And I was like, no, do tell. And he was a good chiropractor, but it turns out he sexually assaulted like 9 women in his practice. And I like lost his license for a number of years, moved counties, came to this county, got his license back, started practicing again, and I was none the wiser. Apparently, a lot of people in the community knew, but I didn't know because I'm not from this community. So ultimately, I found out and we quit going to him. And then started going to another guy, and he's just like the whack and crack and get you out. And I'm just not down with that. So we got to go to this other lady that I've been referred to. Yes, I'm going to save this live. I will save this live for you. And if you want to, you can email me and I can send you like the blood tests and a full thyroid panel. You want to make sure it's a full-blown thyroid panel. So when many doctors draw thyroid labs, they're only checking like 1 or 2 levels, and they don't check your antibodies. They don't check your like all of your, there's like a T3 and a T4 and a TSH and a I'm missing all the other ones, but there's more than just 2 levels that they have to check for your thyroid. So make sure that they get all of those checked. And then if you're borderline with your thyroid, because that can cause a lot of stress and stuff too. Some practitioners will treat a borderline thyroid. Most allopathic practitioners are going to look at their chart and they're going to say, oh, well, yeah, you're down here, you're borderline, but you're still within your limits, and they're not going to treat you. But if you're symptomatic and you are borderline, then your thyroid needs to be treated. And like I said, allopathic, they're going to look at the chart, they're going to say you're above the borderline even though you're close to it, and they're not going to treat you. But that doesn't help your symptoms, right? So being knowledgeable about all that kind of stuff when it comes to your blood, your lab draws and all that stuff. Yes, I know, Kylie. What's what? What did I say, Megan? You said what? And then what's the holy crap about? What did I say? Any advice for someone that deals with neurological pain? Neurological pain. So the skull cap that I was talking about, that helps with neurological issues. But neurological pain, I'm still trying to figure that out. CBD salves might be of help there. What do I do when I get severe sciatic pain? Hold on, I'm drawing a complete blank. I gotta think of what I do for my... The best thing I can do when I have nerve pain is to lay down and take all the pressure off my body and to rest. So if I'm in excruciating pain at the end of the day, if I can lay down and take the pressure off of everything on my body and like sleep good that night, I'll wake up in the morning and I won't have pain. It might gradually come on and get worse as the day goes on, but for me, rest and taking the pressure off my back is the best thing I can do for nerve pain. I know somebody who has a severe nerve pain issue in one area of her body, and they actually went in with like electrodes, and she has not like a pacemaker but something like that, and they implanted something into her body so that those electrodes like did something to the nerve pain to lessen it. And I thought that was really fascinating. Now, I don't want to be like sliced and diced and have things done to me because I'm afraid of what, like when they wanted to do my thyroid biopsy, my concern was, okay, I don't have any immunoglobulin to fight ear, nose, and throat infections. So what if you go in there and you take this biopsy and then I get infection? And then I just was afraid of causing a trauma to my thyroid and then the cells in there getting defensive and like hyperproducing. So that was another concern of mine. And I know I might have irrational fears surrounding these things. I might have irrational fears surrounding medical things. I have been learning a lot recently about different cancers and things like that, and that sometimes surgeries or chemo will cause the cancer to go berserk, whereas there's other non-invasive treatment plans that they don't share with us that can fight tumors and things like that. So, um, yeah, that's something I've been scared about as far as future treatments that I may need with my health conditions. But we'll just cross those bridges when we get there. We're not going to think about that kind of stuff right now. The pedo chiropractor. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's what you were saying. Oh, my God. I forgot that that's what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah. That was a shocker because my husband started going to him first. And then my husband was like, hey, why don't you go to this chiropractor? Like, he's a cool dude. And I went to him and I'm like, yeah, he's a cool dude. He seemed cool until the truth came out. And then you feel like I felt dirty. I felt like, how could I be so naive? How did I not pick up on anything? But in retrospect, I realized a lot of things. But in the time when I was naive, it's just like, how did I not know? But, ugh. And how do people like that get their license back? And then how does he get to work on women still? Like, it just, his license got suspended for a certain amount of time, and now he's just like free to do it, whatever he wants to. His wife's still with him. She's cool with it. Like, what? Not one to gossip, but come on, you shouldn't be sexually assaulting women that you're supposed to be treating as a chiropractor when you're married and you have daughters. Like, what is wrong with people? The world today. Oh, and they still to this day, I'm just a coward but they will still send me messages. The chiropractic center will still send me messages and like, we haven't seen you in a long time. When are you going to come back in for another appointment? It's just an auto-generated message like, you haven't been here in a while. Just want to text back. I know your truth. Ugh. So messed up. Yeah, my husband was livid, furious when I told him. He was furious. Megan, I don't know where you're from. You might have said earlier, but remind me. My women's health functional medicine nurse practitioner, WHFNP. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what her abbreviations are. Anyways, she's amazing. She's incredible. She keeps encouraging me every step of the way. She's like, Katie, you have to exit the allopathic medical system. She was in it. She used to work in the hospital as a nurse practitioner. She was a midwife in the hospital. She left and started her own midwifery practice, and she had her own women's health practice, and she is fully on board with all of the functional medicine, like natural healing, like let's get to the root of the cause, let's address your gut, let's get to the root of the cause, and not just prescribing stuff to max things. Now, yes, she did prescribe me things, but that's to slow the progression of scleroderma on my internal organs, and the sclerosis that happens with the disease. I have to take certain medications that have been proven to slow the progression of that so that I don't end up with interstitial lung disease or heart disease, or, I mean, this renal failure and renal disease, that all comes along with scleroderma. So yeah, you have to find a good practitioner and one that's going to find the root cause of what's going on with you. And I've been working with her, and she is, so she'll see people in Idaho and in Oregon. She does virtual appointments. So that's how I've seen her. She can order all of your lab tests. She can order all of your prescriptions, all of your testing, like everything. She can do all of that stuff. She's just her own independent person. She's not working underneath of an umbrella practice or anything like that. She just went out on her own, and she's now doing her own practice again, which she was doing. And then she joined up with this huge like corporate practice to get that business jump started and going, and she brought a lot of patients to that practice, and then she's left it now and started her own thing again, which is really awesome. But her name is Rebecca Meek, and you can look her up. She serves all of Oregon and all of Idaho, and she's getting licensure in other states. But she is phenomenal. She's the only person who has gotten to the root cause of a lot of what's going on with me. She's also the one who ran the right tests to discover I had Hashimoto's. I was being treated for hypothyroidism, but I wasn't being treated for Hashimoto's. So she started that. And she's just been the one who has done all the testing to find out whether or not I had toxic exposures when I was in environmental remediation. She did all my mold testing, and that is an OAT test. So, OAT, OAT, it's an organic acids test. And that organic acids test, it's a urinalysis. It's a 24-hour pee in a jug urinalysis. And what that does is it tests all of the things that are leaving your body, and it's able to determine a variety of like toxins that are in your system, if there's toxins in your system, if there's candida overgrowth, different things that are going on in your gut. So all of that stuff comes out in your urine. So they test your urine, and they're able to find out if you have all these toxicities. So that is another really good test to do. I did have to pay out of pocket for that. So I scrimp and save and am frugal everywhere in my life so that I can afford good food, healthy food, so that I can afford alternative medicine care, so that I can go and get massages once a month and keep my tissues soft, because what can happen is you can get sclerosis in your soft connective tissues, and that can bind them up. So I'm doing everything I can to just try to keep my tissues malleable as much as I can. So I'm willing to sacrifice and drive the old beat up car and not have a nice car, not have a car payment or whatever, so that I can go and get individualized care for myself, so that I can pay out of pocket to have the practitioner that I need that's going to help me live and be healthy, and the person that's going to be on my team, and not the person that's just going to throw a bunch of stuff at me that's masking the problem and not so much helping the problem. So I'm working with my functional medicine practitioner, but I also have my allopathic side, so I still am in the system. And we're working together to figure out what's the best course of treatment for me. Right now, what we're doing is preventative to prevent damage, and to hopefully either stop the scleroderma from progressing and getting worse, or to put it in remission. So I'm not even sure that what I'm experiencing is full-blown scleroderma flares and things like that, or if it's related to my other autoimmune diseases. So we're trying to figure out and differentiate like what's being affected right now. I'm gonna have to go through all the organ testing to see baseline tests for my lung function, for my heart function, for my kidney function. And of course, like possibly muscle testing and different stuff like that. But baseline tests just to see, so that they can monitor me from year to year to make sure that I'm not getting interstitial lung disease or something like that, where I would need oxygen ultimately, and ultimately not be able to breathe at all, because your lungs can't expand when they're full of sclerosis. So, so we got to do whatever we can to make sure that none of that happens. So yeah, you're welcome. I want to share. I don't share about this in like my long form videos that I edit and like the food, and this turned into a food channel, but I always wanted to share my personal journey with my health and with my struggles, because I know that a lot of people have a lot of struggles, and I have so many that I think a lot of people can relate to those things, from the chronic pain to the inflammation and the autoimmune diseases. And then, of course, what Aaron's going through himself. So all we can do is keep doing the best we can for ourselves every single day, and keep getting up and keep rising and keep fighting for good health because it's out there, and I'm going to get my good health back. Um, just determined, and we have to be determined, and we have to keep trying, and we have to make sacrifices, walking every day and making sure that we're eating right and eliminating as much sugar as we can from our diets, and trying to do all the little things. All the little things that we can do can add up. From the herbal teas to the castor oil packs to the herbal poultices and the tinctures in the gut protocol, the probiotics, the different herbs that you can take to help your gut. There's just so many things. And remember, a lot of these diseases and a lot of this stuff comes from gut dysfunction. So if you can address the root cause in your gut, a lot of healing will follow. Um, I have been able to get some healing from correcting my gut, and I did a gut protocol and a whole bunch of healing before I got pregnant with my 5th baby. Um, and I believe that it works because it worked for me, and I saw a massive improvement in my health and my vitality, when I did all of that. And then when I got COVID, everything kind of went downhill for me, and I've been struggling ever since then. And that's when we started doing all the autoimmune testing. So, autoimmune testing, is another thing if you're having lots of inflammation and chronic stress and stuff like that. Um, you can get an ANA test, and that is an autonuclear antibody test, an ANA, and that will check your antibodies in your body to see if you have, any kind of autoimmune disease. So an ANA test will it kind of gives you a general idea. Typically, they use it to try to diagnose lupus and things like that. I had the ANA test, and it came back positive, for scleroderma SCL17, and Hashimoto's, which we already knew that I had, and celiacs, I think, with the high C-reactive protein from all the inflammation in my body. So the ANA is really good, and it's not 100% like just because you show positive for something doesn't necessarily mean that you are diagnosed with it. You have to go and get like further testing. So I am going to a rheumatologist to have all of the scleroderma testing to nail down exactly what type, because there's like 7 or more. I think since, there were 7 or to 9 different types of scleroderma. Um, so that has to be narrowed down because what my test shows, um, it's scary. So I'm hopeful that somehow it's not my situation, because it's scary. But we're just going to cross that bridge when we get there. I do have the positive ANA test for the scleroderma, and I do have a lot of symptoms. So we're just trying to figure that out and navigate it all. And it takes specialists to do that, and the people who know about the diseases themselves and who specialize in it. And there are scleroderma specialists all over the country in bigger cities. So we might have to make a move to a place that has a scleroderma clinic so that I can get the proper treatment program and the proper care team if it comes to that. I'm fingers crossing that I have caught it early enough that we can keep it or put it into remission or keep it into remission so that I don't have to have any of the stuff, the horrible things that come with a progressive, uncurable, rare disease. And that's exactly what it is. It's a incurable, rare disease. So that's where we're at. We're just trying to stop the damage if there's any damage happening, prevent any more from happening. And for that, we're taking hydroxychloroquine, LDN, which is low dose naltrexone, and a whole bunch of supplements to try to help everything, to help my gut, to help the acid reflux, so that my esophagus doesn't get eaten away and full of sclerosis, so that my teeth don't rot out from the acid constantly coming back up. So we're just trying to get all that stuff under control for now, because scleroderma can affect your esophagus. It affects the motility in your intestines. It affects the motility or motility like the movement of your esophagus. It can cause hardening of your esophagus where it won't move or it won't close and contract. So at the base of my esophagus right now, it's staying open, we think. And that is why I have like constant heartburn all the time, is because it's not able to close off properly. So just trying to do things to lessen that, if that's what's happening, if that's the cause of my heartburn. It could just be that I've got this gut stuff going on and that I'm having heartburn just from an imbalance of some sort. So we're just fingers crossed it's nothing major and that it's a simpler fix is what we're hoping. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. We had a good live tonight. I've got my castor oil pack on my belly. So far, I'm not noticing anything. I'm not feeling anything. I'm not feeling like I have to run to the bathroom or anything weird like that. It just feels nice to have some support around my belly and around my back because I've got it wrapped. And yeah, I'll update you guys. We'll talk more about this in next Monday's live. Every Monday throughout the cold weather, dark months, we're going to have a live at 6 p.m. here on Rouse Rising. And we can hang out and we can talk about whatever you guys want to. So if you are watching this, if you've watched all the way to the end, you can go over to my community page, and underneath of my last live posting, my poster for tonight, you can go into there and comment, what do you want our next live to be about? Do you have questions? Are there topics that you are interested in? Are there topics that you want me to research and bring to the table more information for you guys? Is there something that you're dealing with in your personal life that you want me to address on here? Or are there questions that you have for me and my family with my husband retiring from the military? I know that there's a lot of information and a lot of questions a lot of people have about that, especially if you're in the military and you're approaching a similar situation. I know people have questions about that, but I don't think I have too many viewers here that are a part of the military facet of life. So, but yeah, if you guys want to go over there to my community page and leave a comment of what you want the next live to be about, that would be really awesome. It will help me narrow down the focus of the topic, and then we can have a good time discussing whatever it is you guys are interested in. But for now, I'm going to tie this up right here, and I want to say thank you all for hanging out with me for tonight's live. I love chatting with you. I love reading all the comments, and maybe next time we'll have a moderator. We'll just have to see. Tonight's live wasn't as busy as some of them have been in the past. I know we've had upwards of 75 to 100 people here. So it was nice having a smaller, more intimate group because I was able to actually read the comments, whereas before it's been crazy. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I will see you in the next video. We have coming up the Game Meet November. Oh, it's in a hashtag. Make sure you follow that hashtag. Make sure you go to my community page and look at all of the channels that are going to be in the Game Meet Challenge, or in, I can't believe I can't remember what it is. This brain fog is something else. So yeah, definitely check that out so that you guys can follow and subscribe to all of those channels. There's so many great channels there, and you can convert these game meat recipes with your beef, chicken, pork, whatever you have on hand. You can use these same recipes, delicious recipes, with whatever kind of meat that you have at home. So check those out. See the unique recipes everybody's sharing. I'm going to be sharing a meatball, gluten-free, dairy-free. Do you know those sausage balls that are really good that everybody makes for like holiday parties and stuff like that? I'm making those, but they're gluten-free, dairy-free, and they're going to be made with deer sausage. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming out on November 11th. Also, don't forget to pay attention to my community page because we have Black Friday sales coming up. So even if you don't celebrate the holidays, if you don't celebrate this time of year, you can take advantage of all these amazing sales that are coming up for Black Friday. We're going to have a caraway sale that is pots and pans, ceramic coated pots and pans. We're having a Bosch and Nutrimil sale coming up. So if you need a grain mill, if you need a mixer to make all your holiday cookies, those are going to be going on sale on the 18th. And then we've got a lot of other good stuff coming along. So I have another company that has cast iron, enamel coated cast iron pots and pans. They have ceramic ware and they have glass vacuum sealed storage containers. And they're also going to be having a sale, and I'm going to share that sale with you in a recipe vlog. We're going to we're going to spatchcock a chicken, and then we're going to make some bone broth with the leftovers and make a really yummy meal. So I'm going to share that sale with you guys in that video. So make sure that you are paying attention and watching these videos, because I'm bringing you guys all the best deals on all the kitchen gadgets that I love, from my home to yours. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a blessed week. Remember, you are amazing. If nobody's told you today, I love you and I appreciate you. I'm so thankful that you're here and hanging out with me and spending time with me. I mean, the greatest gift that you can give to anybody is your time, and the fact that you all have spent time here with me tonight feels like such a gift to me, to have your company and this banter and to be able to talk with you all. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.